I'm your man, Jay Muscle, here for another session of Speak Ya Game. And yes, we are getting down to the last little bit of this gap in between the NBA season and we're approaching the NFL season. Yes, we are. Training camps are going to be starting here soon, and I thought to myself, it'd be a good idea to go ahead and get a good look at these teams in this upcoming season. Because there's been a lot of changes, a lot of situations. Offseason was either a big deal or a bad deal. So here at Speak Your Game, I'm going to go through each division, each team. And I'm going to let you know what went down in the offseason. I'm going to talk about what I see as far as the offense and the defense, because you can't have a team without both. And I'm going to give you my predictions of that NFL team. Now, if you are new, I'm Jay Muscle. This is Speak Your Game. And I hold no punches here. If a player is trash, I'm going to call him trash. If a player was dominant, I'm going to say they was dominant. But I am not going to sugarcoat nothing for nobody. That's what Jay Muscle does here on Speak Your Game. And we're going to get into this NFL season. And the first division I wanted to dive in was the AFC North. I feel like we need to go ahead and get them out the way because, yes, there's some drama in the AFC North. And I'm going to point out the drama in the AFC North because few of these teams have some hopes, have some dreams, have some predictions of themselves, and I'm going to let them know right here, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all for them. And the first team I'm going to talk about out of the AFC North is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to speak on them because we might see something new out of them this season. They did some things that they normally don't do in the offseason. Now, if you've been living under a rock and have been really paying attention to the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm going to call it out right now. Coach Zach Taylor, he might be in the hot seat right now. He might be. I ain't going to say it might. I'm going to say he is. I'm going to say he's in the hot seat. Coach Zach Taylor is in his 7th season with the Cincinnati Bengals. Came head coach in 2019. In 2021, he coached the Cincinnati Bengals, if y'all remember, to the Super Bowl. It was a really good season for the Cincinnati Bengals. They did lose to the Rams. The following year, they got to the AFC Conference Championship, fell to the Chiefs. And then since then, they really haven't been the talk of the town. They've had some injuries, Joe Burrow being one of them. The past 2 seasons, 9-8. Last season, 6-11. And the defense is one of those major issues for the Cincinnati Bengals, because if y'all don't remember, during the season last season, they couldn't stop a lot of things. They couldn't stop a lot. And for the offense, it was a game of keep up, because the defense was decent. Defense was soft. Wet paper bag, wet Kleenex, straight through. Couldn't stop a parked car. We're just being honest here. Defense was really bad. Just to let you know how bad the defense was for the Cincinnati Bengals, they were scraping the bottom of the league, 31st in total yards allowed at 380. 380 yards allowed. They was just one away from the bottom. Rushing yards allowed, 147. They were 32nd. Score defense, they was allowing 28.9 points per game, 30th. That's how bad the defense was for the Cincinnati Bengals. And you got to put into question with Coach Zach Taylor. Like I said at the beginning of the show, is he in the hot seat? I want to know, Cincinnati Bengals fans, is Zach Taylor in the hot seat? And is his job going to be up to someone else at the end of the season if the Cincinnati Bengals don't make it deep into the playoffs? And we're talking, they were just in the Super Bowl in 2001, in the AFC Conference Championship, 2022. So if he don't get them back, is he going to have a job with the Cincinnati Bengals? That is the question I have for Bengals fans, because the defense was bad. And I mean, with Joe Burrow being hurt, hey, Joe Burrow's a stud, man. Like, he was slinging it, but when you playing catch up, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to keep pace if the defense is giving up a lot of yards and points. One thing the Cincinnati Bengals did this offseason was tune up their defense. They did tune up their defense. And Bengals did pick up a monster from the Giants. And like I said, if y'all ain't been paying attention, they traded for Dexter Lawrence II from the Giants. And hey, he's no pushover. He will clog that middle. He's been doing it with the Giants for a minute. Lawrence is one of the most double-teamed defensive tackles in the game. That's how much of a problem he is. The most double-teamed defensive tackle in the league. The man's made, 3 Pro Bowls, 2 All Pros in his 7 seasons. I mean, the man's big time. And this has to be a move the Bengals needed to clog up that middle, to get some pressure on the opposing offenses. Because, like I said, they're scraping the bottom in defense. The Bengals did add a little bit more depth to their defense. They did pick up Jonathan Allen from free agency. He was with the Vikings. Hey, another problem. Jonathan Allen was like 8th most sacks of any defensive tackle in the 2020s, according to Michael Hall on the team's website. He's going to be a problem. That front defensive line is looking to be a problem. Because the Bengals are really trying to count on these big dudes putting some pressure on the quarterback to give him a mistake. Also, have these good linebackers come around these edges and get at the offense. That's their plan. That's their plan. Will it happen? We don't know. But that's their plan. To get these big dudes down here on the line and let these linebackers cause some havoc. One thing about these MM2 summer. Nah, we ain't gonna talk about that. We talk about the AFC North right now. And if you ain't with it, hey, move on. I mean, sorry about it. But the defense, they're looking for defensive end, Boyd Math coming off the edge. Bengals really were hurt in the secondary as far as safety. They got a Kyle Duggar and a Brian Cook. Their defense is going to have to come together to give Joe Burrow a chance on offense to win some games. Because like I said, the defense was horrible last season. Scraping the bottom. Do you know how bad it is to give up 380 yards a game? I mean, that really means you wasn't stopping nothing. They run the ball. They pass the ball. They 28 points per game. That's at least 4 touchdowns in one game of football the defense was giving up. So the Bengals going to have to get together on this defense. They did make these moves to get Dexter Lawrence. They got Jared Allen to clog up the front there. They're counting on Boyd to come around the edges. There's safeties to hold down the passing routes. I'm telling you, it's looking hopeful. It's looking hopeful for the Bengals. But just like I said, you got two halves of everything. You got offense and you got defense. And we just talked about the defense, so let's move on to the offense with these Cincinnati Bengals. One major issue with the Bengals offensively would be their quarterback, Joe Burrow. That's a key factor. Anytime that he has been hurt, they've had not so good seasons. So Joe Burrow first has to be available. And I don't know if y'all seen the clip of him a couple weeks ago. He did say he's feeling good. He's feeling good like he was back in college. He's feeling good of when they went to the Super Bowl. He's feeling good of when they went to the AFC Conference Championship. So if he's feeling good, what would it look like for the Bengals offensively? Because last season, they wasn't so great. In 2024, they were the highest scoring offense in the league. The highest scoring offense in the league. Joe Burrow has thrown, through over 4,600 yards in 2024. Jamar Chase last season, over 1,400 yards in catching. 2004, he had 1,700 with 17 touchdowns. This is what the Bengals need to do on offense, along with the defense holding it down. Chase Brown rushed over for 1,000 yards last season. All they need is to get both sides together. And one of the major factors on offense is going to be that offensive line. The offensive line giving Joe Burrow time to make the right read, to get the ball off. And it's looking good for the Bengals. Looks real good for them. The starting O-line, all of them are returning. These guys went through the trenches last season. Last season didn't go too well. They took some hits. They took some bumps. They took some scars. They made some mistakes. They are fixing the mistakes. But all of the starting offensive line are returning for the Bengals. So Bengals fans, I want to know, how do y'all feel about this offense coming into this season with the Cincinnati Bengals? Because it's going to be serious. They got high hopes. Their head coach, head on the guillotine. They got to do good. They fixed the defense. Hopefully the defense will hold better than it did last season. A healthy Joe Burrow slinging it. A healthy Jamar Chase catching it. A healthy Chase Brown rushing. It has to be now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And if we're really going to get into it, as far as the Cincinnati Bengals, because looking at their schedule, it don't look that bad. It don't look good, but it don't look bad. Like, they do have, like, one of the easiest seasons, or the easiest schedules of the NFL. I mean, game one, they do play Tampa Bay. And if y'all don't know Jay Muscle is a Tampa Bay fan. But matching it weapon for weapon, it don't look good for Tampa. Week 2, they play Houston, the Houston Texans. The Cincinnati Bengals have had a issue with starting late in the season. Or starting late in the season. 1-4, 2-2. The only times they've really had good seasons is when they start good. I do believe their Super Bowl season when they went to the Super Bowl, they started 4-1. But with those first 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to say they're gonna split one of those 2 games. They're either gonna lose to Tampa and win with Houston, or win with Tampa and lose with Houston. One of the two. But the first 2 weeks, I look at them being 1-1. Week 3, division game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I will be talking about in the next episode. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers have what it takes to stop the Cincinnati Bengals. That's a win for them. As far as the Jacksonville, week 4, week 5, Miami, I'm going to give them 2 wins for that. So we're really the first 5 weeks of the season for the Cincinnati Bengals, I got them 4-1. 4-1. Real good start. A lot better start than what they have been doing. But this is where it gets a little sketchy. They have the Baltimore Ravens, week 7. They have a bye week 6. Week 7, the Baltimore Ravens. That defensive line is going to be put to test here. Not saying the first 5 games they wouldn't be put to test, but it's really going to be a test for them in week 7 because you're dealing with Lamar Jackson. You're dealing with Derrick Henry. You're dealing with the Ravens, who like to do a lot of running. So, just like I said before, the Cincinnati Bengals were last in the league last year in rushing yards allowed. So I really feel it's going to be put to a test to them. So I'm going to say they also play Baltimore in week 17. Like I said, it's a divisional game. So with Baltimore, week 7, week 17, I'm going to say they're going to split those. Baltimore's going to win. Cincinnati's going to win one. That's what we're going to roll with that. So week 8, Tennessee Titans. That should be an easy one for them. The Atlanta Falcons, once again, we really don't know about these Atlanta Falcons. They change up from game to game. One thing I do know, their run game is going to be serious. Another test for that defensive line. Possibly a test for the D-backs also, depending on how their quarterback runs. But once again, it just depends on what Atlanta Falcons show up. But I'm going to go ahead and give them a win over the Atlanta Falcons week 9. Week 10, they have the Pittsburgh Steelers again. Pittsburgh is not going to do what everybody predicts them to do, and I'm going to talk about that in next episode. Yes, okay, yeah, they got Aaron, they got Coach McCarthy back together, they got a few of the guys back from the good old Golden State, not Golden State, but Green Bay days. Yeah, yes, all that works into everything, but I'll let y'all know in the next session why the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to be that good. But we're going to move on. Pittsburgh, they're going to sweep in the division, the Cincinnati Bengals. That's just how it is. Week 11, they will be playing the Commanders. I'm really going to give them a win on that. Week 12, the New Orleans Saints, they really don't have nothing going on. Really, from week 11 to 13, it's the Washington Commanders, the New Orleans Saints, and the Cleveland Browns. That's 3 wins right there. That's 3 wins, whichever way you slice it. Unless somebody's hurt on the Cincinnati Bengals, that is crucial. Those are 3 wins for the Bengals. The Commanders won't be that easy. It will be a little bit of a fight. But the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns, hey, I like Shedeur Sanders and all, but weapon for weapon, that's going to be a loss for Cleveland. So Bengals, those 3 weeks, hey, that's three wins in a row. Week 14, another test. And really, both sides are going to be in a test moment, and it's going to be late in the season. Week 14, they do have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if y'all don't remember the history of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals got put out by the Chiefs in 2024, I do believe. So, we're going to see how that's going to ride. Kansas City Chiefs coming off a really not so good season after seeing them deep in the playoffs and or the Super Bowl in the NFL playoffs. So it's going to be all eyes on Kansas City to see how they revamp and get back to greatness. But weapon for weapon, player to player, pimp to pimp, the Bengals going to lose this game. I think in my opinion, the Kansas City Chiefs will be in rare form this season. Nothing to how we used to see them. They're going to pretty much be the high class performance that we are used to seeing them be. So Bengals in Kansas City, and they're in Cincinnati that game. They got a chance, but I see Kansas City getting them on that one. Week 16. No, we're going to go to Week 15. Week 15, Carolina Panthers. We all know how the Carolina Panthers are. Weapon for weapon, pimp for pimp, player for player. Cincinnati is walking all over the Panthers unless somebody is injured that's a crucial player. That's just how it is on that. Then we get a little sketchy in Week 16. And I would say this game and the following game after that will be a little bit of a push. We're talking about the end of the season, guys being beat up, key players may be injured. But Week 16, they play the Indianapolis Colts. And if the Colts or anything like we saw them last season, this is going to be a nail biter. This is going to be a little rough for them. And I got to say, if it's the Indianapolis Colts that have been playing to come back the same way that they did last season without dude getting hurt, they're going to be a problem. So I'm still going to give the Bengals the win on that. Just like I said before, they play the Ravens week 17. Last week, they played the Browns. That last game really probably won't mean anything except to the Browns, maybe. I don't know. But as far as my prediction for the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm going to go with 10-7 or possibly 11-6 with them. I want to say like 80%. I'm like almost 80% sure they'll win this division this year. I don't think the Ravens will be able to topple them. But that is my prediction for the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'd like to ask the Bengals fans out there, what are y'all predictions for y'all's team? Matter of fact, NFL fans, I want to know your predictions for the Cincinnati Bengals. Feel free to leave them down in the comments. I like to see what everyone's thoughts are with the Cincinnati Bengals. And here is another question that could possibly happen. Do they have what they need this season to make a championship run? Because we know Joe Burrow, when healthy, he's a problem. If the defense can hold the teams to, let's just say, 2 touchdowns, because 28 points in one game, that's a lot of points. So let's just say, go out on a limb and say, if the defense can hold teams with under 20, let's say that, under 20, that's workable. With Joe Burrow being the way he is, offense doing what they're doing, could they make a definite championship run? NFL fans, I would like to know. Bengals fans, I would like to know what y'all think thoughts are. Because we could see this coming Super Bowl a possible rematch of Super Bowl 56. Rams and Bengals. With possibly Joe Burrow getting his revenge on Stafford. It could be possible. Do y'all believe it could be possible that we could see a repeat in the Super Bowl, Rams, Bengals, with the Bengals getting a Super Bowl win? Joe Burrow still got receipts from the last one. Could he be able to top Matt Stafford and the Rams? Because the Rams also have made some serious offseason moves. And like I said, I'll be getting to all the divisions, all the teams. We're going to be doing it day by day. Y'all going to be here. I'm going to be here. Speak Your Game's going to be right here. We are going to go through every division, every team, every prediction, everything. And y'all going to hear my predictions on every team. Just like you heard my prediction on the Cincinnati Bengals. Because it might not be as storybook as everybody expects it to be. Or it could be exactly what everybody expects it to be and then winning a Super Bowl. You never know. But what you do know is I'll be back with another session and I will be discussing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I do have some Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and I'm just going to let y'all know, y'all probably ain't going to like me after that session talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we talked about the Bengals today. Go ahead and leave your comments down at the bottom for your thoughts on the Cincinnati Bengals, and do they have enough to make a championship run and make it deep in the playoffs? I'm Jay Muscle. This is Speak Your Game, and I'll see you next time.